Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to this week's Everton show. It was cold, it was windy and it was wet at the Riverside last weekend, so a share of the spoils probably wasn't the worst result, and the boss and the players have certainly upped the ante this week with regards to the weather. They've been in Dubai for some warm weather training. Amongst those left behind are me, Ian Snowden, and David Unsworth. Unsy, welcome back to the Everton show. 6 points clear at the top of Premier League 2. You must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, I am, Daz. I'm delighted with the way the lads have gone about it. Still a few games to go, still lots of points to be won, but we're in a good position and hopefully the lads can see it over the line.
He's taking nothing for granted, Snods, is he?
Yeah, he's keeping the boys' feet on the ground, and rightly so, but they're playing with a smile on their face, they're enjoying the football and they're getting the results. That's what matters.
And they're top of the table, that's what matters. Well, as we'll hear throughout this week's programme, Unsy and his players are not just blazing a trail on the field of play, they're also setting the highest of standards off it too. Plenty to come from my two guests this week, and plenty more besides.
I'm chomping at the bit to get back. I'm looking at about 2 more weeks, hopefully. I'm banging on at the physios to let me get back, but just got to hold on a little bit longer and then I'll be fit to play.
This isn't Everton in the community leading the programme. It's very much being led by David, very much being led by the young players, and we're going to be the beneficiaries, which is amazing.
Well, as I mentioned at the top of the programme there, Ronald, Koeman, his staff and the players have been away in Dubai working hard in the sunshine. Here's a little taste of what they've been up to.
It was good. We train hard. We are not here for holidays. We are here for working hard.
Of course, they have to work on a good way. And well, that's on the pitch and also in the gym.
A little bit of rain. It's not too hot. We can do a perfect training camp over here.
Play and move, play and move. It's important to bring the players on a good level. You can't do that within 4 or 6 weeks. Every day there's a good focus, and also here what I see, they like to train.
Yeah, it's hot, as you say, humid. The sessions have been difficult, but nice to get in the warm weather. You know, it's a bit cold back home, so I think the lads are enjoying it.
We're working really hard and a lot of intense work, but you know, a lot of enjoyment in the training sessions.
So far it's very good. The hotel is good. The facilities on the training for the training are perfect. We enjoy. We stay together. Some new faces in the group and some young boys improving. Time for the players in the afternoon, and we do some meetings. And in my opinion, it's really top to be here.
That's what it's for. You know, it's just to boost our fitness a little bit. You know, to kick on for the rest of the season for the last 13 games. So we've been putting it in, and we're looking forward to the games coming up.
I can say the players are fit. They can play 90, 95, 96 minutes.
I'm really happy about the ambition of the players, about the behavior of the players. It's really perfect, and that's the way to be successful.
Unsy, some of your boys are over there, aren't they?
Yes, they are. 5 or 6 of them, actually, which is brilliant. The majority of the lads who are out there train with the first team anyway, every day. So it's great that they've got that exposure to the first team when they're back at Finch Farm. But to go away with the squad, with the team as well, to places like that, it's really good for the development.
It sounds glamorous, doesn't it? A week in Dubai, Snods, but you know the gaffer, they'll be working over there.
They will be working. That's why I took the ambassadors, to be fair, but no, they will. And as Dave says, it's great for the young kids as well, because the experience of training with the first team out there, getting to know the manager a little bit more, and yeah, they'll come back a lot better mentally, knowing about the game and what's needed to be a Premiership player.
Did you ever play in Dubai?
I knew you'd bring that up. I did play in Dubai. We drew 2-2 with Glasgow Rangers, went to penalties, and Chris Wood's that magnificent keeper for England at the time, saved my penalty and we lost. So it was my fault.
In all seriousness, Sons, you've been in that situation with the likes of Ademola Lookman and Morgan Schneiderlin. This week will be perfect.
It is. It's a great way to get to know your teammates even better. So we've got a couple of new signings, Schneiderlin as well. Lookman's come in, and they've gone straight into that first team squad. But to spend time together, they'll be eating together every single meal, training in the afternoon, like the manager just said, meetings as well. It's a great opportunity to get to know what the manager wants. And trips like this for me are vital, certainly at this stage of the season, where we need another little push now to end the season on a high.
A lot of clubs do it, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and they go all over the world, and that's that's the world that we live in now, and that's great. But it's, like I said, it's really important, not just for the players, but for the staff as well, to get that quality time with the players.
Pity we couldn't smuggle an ambassador on board the plane, but never mind. Right, critical to any potential success for any football team has got to be keen competition for places. We've certainly got that right now at Everton, with the midfield area particularly congested with quality players. Not one member of the midfield gang is guaranteed a starting berth in Ronald Koeman's first team. The boss wouldn't have it any other way, and you know what? Nor would the players themselves.
That's what you need if your team's going to be successful. You need competition, you need different types of players for different types of games, and I think our midfield is really strong at the minute. We've got 4 or 5 that are pushing to start every game, so obviously that's a bit of a headache for the gaffer, and he has to select the right man for the job. But it's nice, as a defender, when you see the type of players we've got playing just in front of you.
Yeah, there's some hard competition in there, and for me it's great for me being so young and being able to learn from the players around me. So in training and games, I'm picking up on the things that they do and trying to add them to my game. So as I said, it's great to be working with all the lads, and for me to be competing with them, it's bringing my game on a lot. Yeah, you can see our midfield options, probably the best since I've been at the club. Everyone's an international player. We've got Gaz Barry, a veteran. He passes on all advice, to the younger lads, and he understands different type of games that we're going into. You need to approach them differently, and he helps out with that. And then we've got, the legs of Ghana, digging in with Morgan, looking for them forward passes, and then the mixture of me and Tom and Jamesy. Mo's coming back now. We've seen him work really hard, and it will pay off for him in the end.
I enjoy to play with everyone on the midfield. We have a lot of midfielders. They are all good. Everybody deserves to play. We are a team. The most important thing is the team. It's not the player. If we win with me or Morgan or Garrett or Jamesy or Tom, we don't care. We just want to win and going forward.
Snod's probably the best example of the quality in the midfield area at Everton is Idrissa Gueye. Before the Africa Cup of Nations, he was guaranteed a starting place. He was probably our player of the season so far. The statistics prove he's still the best tackler in the Premier League, even though he's been away for a month, yet he's not guaranteed a place anymore.
Yeah, you'd have said it were Idrissa and another, or 2 others alongside Idrissa, but he's brought in quality in Morgan Schneiderlin, who's an absolutely superb player, and the emergence of Tom Davies as well. Wow, how do you leave Tom Davies out of an Everton team at the minute? Then you've got James McCarthy, who's coming back, who's played a couple of games. He's all right, he's having his hamstring problems, but he gives you that energy. You've got Mo Besic waiting to be fit as well. Wow, what a choice the manager's got, and I think it's great. Strength in depth's brilliant, and all their midfield players know that they've got to be on top of the game week in and week out.
Snod's mentioned the emergence of Tom Davies there, Unzi, a player you know very, very well. We're not short of quality in midfield, but it just shows if you are good enough, the gaffer will give the young players a chance.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing. The message for all our under-23 players is that they see Tom, they see Mason before him. They see the lads who are training with them every day. He's not afraid to put them in and then keep them in. And that's the big thing for me. It's not just Tom's gone in and played 1 or 2 games. He's had a run of games now. And he's now playing like the Tom Davies I know. Because when you're just finding your feet in the first team, you can play very safe sometimes. You don't want to give the ball away. You don't want to take chances. But he's just certainly, he's gone from those first few games of maybe being safe to now he's all action.
Everyone's quite rightly proud of the boy. Right, we're taking a short break right now. By the way, if you've enjoyed our footage from Dubai, there's loads more on evertonfc.com. When we come back, We'll get to learn a lot more about the secret of the under-23's success so far this season and how the boys are doing their bit for the homeless people of Merseyside. Welcome back. Now, David Unsworth is sitting alongside myself and Snods with his under-23 team sitting atop the Premier League 2 table. 6 points separate the Blues and the chasing pack, and while this guy will be taking nothing for granted, there's no disputing that it's been a terrific season so far. Unzi, we show the 23 highlights every week on the Everton show. Some terrific goals this season, some excellent play. You must be so proud of what the boys have got the potential to achieve.
Yeah, I have. At the same time, it runs parallel to wanting them that and affording them that opportunity in the first team as well. It goes hand in hand, and you want to develop, but you want to win as well, and that's so important to our group that we have that winning mentality as well, because the demands at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon at Goodison in the first team is that you need to win games. So we put the same demands on our players as well. We train very hard. We train at a tempo, probably like a first team as well. But we also have an atmosphere and an environment where the players can express themselves. That's really, really important, that they're comfortable in the blue shirt and they know what the demands are, but they express themselves as well. And that's really important.
The winning mentality, Snods, is something we discuss on a regular basis, as is game management, learning how to see games out and win football matches.
The biggest compliment I can pay Dave and the lads is that when I go and watch games, you can hear the scouts, and they tell you as well in the rooms that you're in at half time before the game, that they like coming to watch Everton under-23s because it's a proper football game. That means there's tackles going in, they play at a good tempo, like Unzi says, they play at a good tempo, there's tackles going in here, there's shots on goals, there's everything happening. You go to some games and it's like just watching the ball being moved. So it's great to hear scouts say, we like coming here because, yeah, you get a proper game. I know it sounds daft, but it's right. So, no, I think what he's got going with the lads, and I've been up in Finch Farm when they come in for the dinner, and I see the banter between himself and the players, and it's great. The camaraderie looks fantastic, and that's why they're doing so well. And I had a quick look at the league table there. I don't care what league it is, 16s, 18s, 23s or first team. Below us, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Wow. Keep it going, mate.
Thanks, mate.
But nothing for granted.
No, and that it's really important that we don't get carried away with that, because I want these players to win, and we all do, because you're playing for Everton, you have to win. But for me, when I sit in the main stand and I watch Tom Davis and Mason play and Dominic play and John Joe Kenny and Kieran Dowell, that's what we're judged on. Yes, we want to win, and we will win. I can assure you that the lads will win. But we want them in our first team.
That's what it's all about. Well, don't forget that admission is free to Monday night's under-23 game against Southampton at Goodison Park. Kick-off time is 7 o'clock. Right, let's stick with the under-23s, but shift away from the football pitch. The players and the staff have thrown their full weight behind a fundraising campaign they themselves devised called Home is Where the Heart Is, which is all about helping the homeless people of Merseyside. As we're about to see, David Unsworth is always keen for his lads to get out and about and play their part in the local area. Really wonderful stuff there from Unsy and the lads. And working right alongside them is our Deputy CEO, Denise Barrett-Baxendale. Her passion for all things community-based is well known, and she's delighted to be working with the guys on Home is Where the Heart Is, the aim of which is to acquire a property on Goodison Road to help the city's young homeless people.
Home is Where the Heart Is started following the under-23s and David Unsworth sleeping out in the stadium, raising funds for the homeless community. Following that event, the team obviously were keen to do another initiative and project with us, and at that time I've spoken to David about young people in the city aged 16 to 23 who were coming out of the care system or in secure care and would find themselves homeless. And David was really keen that he worked with the team and Everton in the community to look to see what we could do as a football club to support those young people in the community.
How much of a driving force has David Unsworth been?
Yeah, David's been a crucial ambassador really, and he is leading the way. This is very much a beneficial project for Everton in the community, but it's been designed and led by David and the team. And the boys have been really sort of instrumental in shaping how the project looks. So they've been into the school, working with some of our young people in the community, the homeless community, to really find out about those issues and concerns for people in those situations and circumstances. And they're working really hard to raise the funds to be able to contribute and support those most needy members of the community. The match on Monday is really important for them to raise awareness of the campaign and also to help them raise the funds. Everton staff will be working free. Their salaries will be going into the under-23s funding line that evening. So all the stewards, the car parking staff, the PR team, the marketing, they're all there contributing voluntary and giving that money back into the income line for the under-23s. This is David really drilling down at a younger age and ensuring that our players are very clear on the expectation from Everton Football Club, what it means to be a player at Everton, and really developing those well-rounded young people who understand the community in which they're playing and living and working. So it's key to us really, and they've been so sort of excited, enthusiastic about it and driving it forward. And as I say, shaping the programme. This isn't Everton in the community leading the programme. It's very much being led by David, very much being led by the young players, and we're going to be the beneficiaries, which is amazing.
Unsy, the passion and enthusiasm for the project of Denise Barrett-Baxendale is crucial to the whole thing, isn't it?
Absolutely, and Denise has been fantastic to work alongside here on this project. Her ideas, her enthusiasm. We have a committee now, Home is Where the Heart Is committee. The people on that committee have got the same drive and ambition as well to take this forward, to take it onto the next level. It's getting really serious now. We're really close to acquiring a property. We've got actually the kids ready and waiting to come into that property as well. So it's gathered a lot of momentum very quickly, and it's just amazing that we can do this as footballers for our local community.
Terrific story, Snots.
It's absolutely fantastic. I remember Denise telling me about it, and that Unsy was 100% behind it. But everything she puts her heart to, she seems to achieve, Denise. And yeah, when I first met her, she's a massive Evertonian. That helps for a start. But a passion for all the community work is second to none, does.
Southampton at Goodison Park on Monday evening. It's free for all the season ticket holders, as I mentioned. We want a load of people in there to see the boys, but we also want to raise a few quid for the project as well.
Yeah, we do. I mean, like I said, it's taken on another level at the moment, and it's going brilliantly. But we want to do this quickly because, like I said, there's not just the awareness of it now. There's actually, when I sat in the committee meeting last week, there's 5 children ready and waiting for this project to take off. That's the demand and the need for this to happen really quickly. So if we can not just raise awareness, if we can raise some more funds, we can get this up and running very, very quickly.
We've been to events where some of David's players have been snods, and they always conduct themselves in entirely the correct manner, don't they?
Yeah, it's totally different from when we were growing up as them probably 18, 19-year-old kids nowadays. They get a lot of media training, and it's great to go out in the community and meet different people with different problems, and it brings them more out of the shell as well. It makes a man of them when they do go out there, and I think the responsibility is fantastic.
The sleep overlooked a cold night, Unsy?
Yeah, tough night, really was. I mean, it started off with everyone together, and it was a little bit jovial, but quite quickly it turned into a really serious night, and the message was that people do this for real, not just for a one-off night, but for days, for weeks, for months, and sometimes even years. And to share that with some of the supporters who were there as well. It was a really serious night and a very chilly night.
It's an absolutely fantastic project, that's for sure. Right, you've got just enough time to put the kettle on now, and in part 3 of this week's programme, we'll have a Life and Times conversation with David Unsworth and with Snods, and we'll hear from the man who managed Unsy twice during his playing days, Harry Redknapp. Welcome back to part 3. Now, one of the more enduring names in British football is Harry Redknapp, a former teammate of Bobby Moore, a manager at every level of the game apart from the one most of the nation thought he should have had years ago. And he was also David Unsworth's boss. In fact, Harry thought Unsy was so good that he signed him twice, once for West Ham United and once for Portsmouth.
Yeah, well, David, I'd come across David, really. I mean, obviously he was a top player for Everton, and I'd watched him come through the England youth team and everything else, and great left foot, a great competitor. And no, I was delighted to take him to West Ham. He was a good lad, David. I had a lot of time for Unsy. He was a real good boy and a good player. So he came, and but he was always felt he was really, Everton was always in his blood. He was always his club, But no, he came to West Ham. Didn't stay very long, really. As long as I liked him to at that time, but he did well when he was there. Yeah, I mean, David was, as I say, he was a good pro, good player. He never let you down. You knew what you got out of him every week, and he gave everything, whether he played. I mean, he could play left-sided centre half, left back. Had a great left foot, absolute thunderbolt of a left foot.
He's gone into coaching now, Harry. Is that something you always expected?
Yeah, for sure. Well, he came into the game, and had a great ground. Then Everton played under lots of top managers, worked with top coaches. Would have learned the ropes on the way through, and eventually I'm sure it was always a path that he wanted to take, and he's into the coaching now, doing well there with the younger players at Everton, and it's fantastic. I'm sure he's under a top manager there now in Ronald Koeman, so that's another great learning process for him.
How big an influence in you signing for West Ham United was Harry Redknapp?
Massive influence. I was just saying to Snods there, I was determined not to sign for them. Howard Kendall had signed a couple of centre-backs. He told me I wasn't going to be playing every week. And then Harry came in for me, and I went down to London with no intention of signing, to turn around, come back up and fight for my place at Everton, after being told that I wouldn't be playing every week. Within 5 minutes of Harry's charm, he'd convinced me that West Ham was for me, and I have to say, I loved it. Loved my time at West Ham. Loved my time at Portsmouth. Loved working with Harry every day. Great guy, absolute fantastic football man who lives and breathes his football, and he's a really good friend now. And he was great for my career. He got me back into the England squad when I was at West Ham, which was fantastic. We played some great stuff. 3 centre backs, himself, Ian Pearce, and and Rio Ferdinand just starting off. So that was a great education, playing alongside Rio. And it was just, West Ham's a proper football club, it really is. It's a great football club, and I love my time there.
You know, Harry, Snods, should he have got the England job?
I'd have liked to have seen him manage Everton.
Really?
I really would. I think he's got that drive, he's got that ambition, he's got that cockiness, and he's got the humour as well, Harry. As Dave said, I've got plenty of time for him. I think he's a terrific fella. First came across him when Jamie first signed for Liverpool, because he stayed of a mutual friend that I knew in West Derby Village. Jamie put him up in digs, so his dad came up quite a few times and had a pint with the locals in West Derby Village. Some of the stories were brilliant, but as a manager, he reminds me of Howard Kendall. You'd love to go out there on the pitch and do it for him, or he'd give you a kick up the backside. And if you didn't, if you did, he'd give you a pat on the back. And the humour from the dressing room, that everybody talks about him. And the best clip I've ever seen on TV is when the reserves were training one day in the background, he were getting filmed, and somebody hit a ball and it hit him on the back, or hit him on the back of the head, and he went berserk and asking who it was, and he just turned around and he says, no wonder you're training with the reserves and you can't get in the first team. And that's just kind of person he is. But for me, Harry Redknapp, top draw, and I would have loved to have seen him manage Everton at some time.
Let's just go back a few years. Do you remember Unsy coming through into the first team picture?
I certainly did. Certainly did. Obviously, I've got a few years on Unsy, but yeah, you know a good player at an age when they're 17, 18, and they're coming through, that they join you in training and they don't look out of place, and that's sign of a good player, because there's some youngsters come through that are all nervous. It keeps breaking down on them, and you keep trying to encourage them. But with Unsy, and I'm not just saying that he's here, training never broke down. He just come along. We accepted him, knew he was a good player, and he turned out to be a good player. So that's enough said about him anyway. I'm not saying anymore.
Good player.
He was a good player.
Was it a good dressing room for a young player to go into with Snods and the likes?
It was a bit scary at first, I have to say. when you're 17, 18, and you've got massive personalities, you know, in the squad, Dave Watson, Kevin Ratcliffe, Snods, you know, it's a little bit daunting at first, but very quickly you find your way and you find your place. And you know, for me, Snods was really helpful in the start of my career. You know, he was very complimentary, you know, telling you little tips. And I used to think his crossing, his first time crossing, was unbelievable. When the ball was laid back to him, he'd come onto it, and they were, you know, it was a good team that we had at the time. It was a good team, and then it splits up like most teams do. But yeah, the early years that I spent with Snods were really good, and you know, it was a proper team with a proper spirit at that time.
Just want to mention that famous Wimbledon game, Snods, when Unsy was in the side at the age of 20. That must have been a daunting experience for a young man, because Everton's Premier League survival was on the line.
Did you play that day? No, saying that because Diamond just says he was the only one that played that day.
I got man of the match.
Did you?
Day,
well, he said he got man of the match. He kept Everton up.
He only had 2 kicks, and one was a penalty.
And he said we wouldn't be in a job if it weren't for him. So, but no, him and John Ebrell, same age. So I was quite nervous on that day. All at Everton were as a club, the fans, the players. So what it was like for a 19-year-old lad, 20-year-old lad playing in a game like that against Wimbledon, knowing that you've got to win the game, going 2-0 down, and I'm thinking, well, we hadn't been there. I'd been there in my career playing for Doncaster and fighting relegation, but not a club like Everton. Surely a club like Everton can't go down. So the pressure were on us big time. So I couldn't imagine what it was like for him and John Ebrell.
When we got that penalty before half-time, obviously Snods wasn't in contention to take it, but were you?
No, I hadn't started taking penalties for the first team at that stage. It was, no, I was never. I mean, usually Anders would take them, Graham would take them, Tony Cottee took them as well, but it was just a little bit too early for me to resume that responsibility. And you know, as much as we joke, there weren't very many takers at the time in terms of wanting to take the penalty. And Graham stepped up, and you know, that goal gave us a lifeline just before half time. So it was a massive moment.
Andre, have you ever watched the game back?
I've not. No,
I have. I've watched it a couple of times, not just for the importance of the game and the goals, but generally the game were awful. It really was, and you're thinking, no wonder we were struggling down
Too much
there.
tension, probably.
There was, and the pitch didn't help. That was bobbly, and but I've watched it a couple of times. I'm thinking there weren't much quality, but you didn't need quality on a day like that. The most important, like an FA Cup tie, you just know you've got to win. No matter how you play, you've just got to win the game. And I know the main thing I can recall is the scenes afterwards. They were incredible, weren't they? The people running on the pitch and grabbing you. And
I remember we were 2-0 down, and I don't know whether you remember, Snods, Dean Holdsworth missed a header.
That's right, he did, yeah.
A free header from the middle of the 6-yard box to make it 3. From that goal kick, we've gone up the other end, and Anders has won that penalty for us. So goodness, what your thoughts if that would have gone in? It would have been, probably an impossible way back for us. But from that missed opportunity from Holdsworth, we go and get a penalty, and the quality was poor. The pitch was poor, wasn't it? Really bobbly, sandy pitch in those days, and it was none of the luscious green grass that the lads get at the end of May now.
Had we ever seen Barry to bowl like that in training?
Never. I've never seen him score a goal. Never seen him really have a shot, Snods.
No. Thank goodness for Barry Horn and Graham Stewart then.
Well, so he says, but...
And then 12 months later, the FA Cup final at Wembley. What a contrasting 12 months for a young footballer.
Yeah, one of the best days of my life, Daz. Really was. It was a fantastic day. Great cup run. And Joe came in with Willie Donaghy, and he basically pressed the switch overnight, and we just transformed into a team that couldn't stop winning. We just went on this march. We went on this run, and we're just unstoppable, really. And it was all because of a manager.
Did it break your heart to leave Everton, although you enjoyed West Ham?
Yeah, it did. It did. I have to say that it's happened a couple of times, and it wasn't easy at all. And I think when you come up through the ranks and you know the people inside out, you know the staff inside out, you experience days like this with the supporters and your family. To then be told, you probably aren't going to play. And I've always been a player who wants to play, and that's always been important. I could never really sit on the bench, but it did break my heart.
Once Everton touches you and all that, Alan Ball was right. Terrific stuff. Right, we'll take our final break of this week's show, and when we come back, we'll have a quick look back at the goalless draw at Middlesbrough, and we'll hear from a man who can't wait to be back on track after his fledgling Everton career was derailed by injury, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Welcome back to the final segment of this week's programme. Everton's unbeaten Premier League run was extended to 8 games last weekend with a hard-fought 0-0 draw at the Riverside against Middlesbrough. The game was played out to a blizzard of a backdrop, and afterwards Ronald Koeman was reasonably satisfied with a share of the spoils.
We know Middlesbrough is really a tough opponent, even when they are struggling and fighting against relegation, because they only conceded 27 goals, and it's not easy. And we create some good ones. We had to score out of that, but the whole team performance defensively was strong. And it's a 4th clean sheet in the last 6, and that's really positive.
Terrific save from Joe Robles to keep that clean sheet towards the end from Gested.
Yeah, it was a header. We knew it when they brought him in on the pitch. Then by crosses of corner kicks, then he will be dangerous. But we fight and stopped the header. But finally, Joe had a good save.
Yeah, it's important save. But in my job, this is my situation. I need to work for this situation, and that's the most important is my team. We need to enjoy this point, and we have now good break. I'm ready for the next game at home.
After the Watford game, which was very disappointed, we started to turn things around and look at ourselves a little bit more and demand a bit more from each other. So the changing room is very good at the minute. The manager's demanding a lot from us, and the players are demanding a lot from each other, which is great. And as I said, we can take the positives out of that clean sheet, but I think we've got to change the mentality in terms of we should be a little bit disappointed not to win the game.
It's amazing to say, Snods, but we are now in the final third of the season already, and we're nicely placed for a nice finishing run.
Yeah, let's hope so. We're playing with confidence. We're getting decent results. I know people thought we might have gone up to Middlesbrough and come back with all 3 points, but difficult game up there, Daz. It really is. They don't concede many goals. As the manager said, they're battling the heart out for points to get away from the bottom 3. So, all in all, take a point there, as long as you win your own games as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the last segment of the season.
You've always got a smile on your face down at Finch Farm, Unsey, but the atmosphere, the general atmosphere at the moment must be good.
It's very good. I mean, it helps when you're winning, and it helps when you're on a winning run, and we're certainly on a good run at the moment, and we've given ourselves a great opportunity for the final chunk of the season to push on and maybe get in the top 6. It really is a great chance for us. We've got some really good games coming up, and you know, hopefully we can do that.
How important is your relationship with Ronald Koeman?
I think it's crucial. I think it's crucial if you're looking to develop young players and give them that opportunity, that you work closely, you work hand in hand. We both know what each other are doing. I speak to him every morning. I have a meeting with him every morning. We go through what he's doing in training, and if he needs any other young players, then he already does, because I said 6 or 7 train with him every day anyway. We'll liaise about the under-23 games. I work closely with the first team fitness coach and Erwin as well. So it really is a great relationship, and I work obviously alongside Steve Walsh as well with targets that we might be bringing in for our squad as well, with the potential to play in the first team.
It's a great point Unsey made before about the gaffer not only gave Tom Davies his chance, but is quite happy to leave him in the team.
Rightly so, and why not? He's playing as well as anybody, and it's important that Ronald Koeman has belief in them youngsters when they go in and play, and they play well. Dave can do everything he wants with the 23s when they've got games, but it's that step up. Can they step up from the under-23s to the first team? And it's proved the lads that have gone out there so far and represented the first team have done that. So if they can keep doing it, then the future at the minute is fantastic for our club.
That's why the loan system's so good, isn't it? It gives them a taste.
Yeah, and Joe Raw's fantastic at placing them in the right order, in the right clubs. Tyus Browning, I spoke to my brother yesterday, played fantastic the other night at right back, and they're well happy with him at Preston North End.
There's another legend there, Joe Royle. They're everywhere down at Finch Farm these days. Right, 1 Premier League start and 3 substitute appearances have given Dominic Calvert-Lewin a combined total of 56 minutes on the pitch as a first-team player. His only start against Southampton at the start of the year ended after only 12 minutes when he picked up an ankle ligament injury. He's a game boy, and he's determined to fight back so he can repay the faith shown in him by David Unsworth.
First came across Unsey as an under-16 at Sheffield United, and he was good there, and then he was there for the first bit of my scholarship, gave him my scholarship at Sheffield and my 18s debut, so yeah, I know Unsey quite well. It's a massive compliment that he shown belief in me from them days, and he's kept track of me since then, and then obviously brought me to Everton and look where I am now, so it's good.
Have you enjoyed working with him this year, your first year at the football club?
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting because he's pretty tough at times. Makes you work hard, but it's all for your own benefit and things like that. So he's been really good for me with the under-23s.
You've got to look at the way you've progressed already in your short time here. Have things gone as well as they thought, scoring goals in the under-23s and earning your first team chance?
Well, like I say, I came in as an under-23 squad player, and things have moved on a little bit quicker than I thought they would, but I like to think I've taken it in my stride, and I'm really enjoying it here now with the first team, and hopefully the team's obviously doing well now, on a good run, so I'm a couple of weeks away from being back fit, and obviously it'll be tough to get back in the side, but that's my goal for the end of the season.
And how's the recovery going from your ankle injury? It's been a few weeks now since you suffered that setback.
Yeah, it's been around 6 weeks, a long 6 weeks, but I'm chomping at the bit to get back. I'm looking at about 2 more weeks, hopefully. I'm banging on at the physios to let me get back, but just got to hold on a little bit longer, and then I'll be fit to play.
And your targets now for the next few months, the remainder of the season?
First and foremost, to get back fit, get back training and back on the pitch, and hopefully get back in the first team, play some 23s games to get my fitness back and get back to that level that I was at.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, very praiseworthy of you there, Unsey. It's your turn now. Tell us about Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Well, I signed him as a 16-year-old at Sheffield United as a scholar, and worked with him for about a year, and always thought he had the potential to be a Premier League player. You know, his attitude, his athleticism, his ability on the ball, the way he's absolutely desperate to be a footballer. He's absolutely desperate to be an Everton footballer. So you know, when we thought we had a chance of bringing him to the club, he certainly ticked all the boxes which we felt was, you know, a potential first team player. And Did I think he was going to play in our first team as quickly as he had? No, but that shows the determination of the lad himself, that he got a quick opportunity and he's taking it. He trains with the first team every day. He plays games for us. He was gutted when he got injured after his first start. He was really down in the dumps, but I've seen him in the gym the last couple of months, and he's worked his socks off. And like he said, he's nearly fit. So can't wait to have him back.
You like the look of him, don't you?
Yeah, for me, you can't have enough Yorkshiremen in a football team, to be honest. A bit of steel. But do you know what? Funny enough, Dad, he started the game against Southampton very well.
Yeah, he did.
10 minutes, he got a good touch and he was laying it off, getting in the box. I'm thinking, yeah, he's full of confidence. And then, unfortunately, he went over on his ankle and he's been injured since. But as Unzi said, he's a good kid, wants to win. Wants to go and win headers, wants to run the channels. So when you've got a centre forward willing to do that, it helps other players around you.
Just expand on what you said before, Dave, about your relationship with the director of football, Steve Walsh. How does that all fit together?
Yeah, we have a great relationship. I've obviously known Steve from my early days in Chorley as a 10-year-old, really, when he was in charge of Lancashire schools. So we go back a long way, and what Steve's done is totally changed the recruitment process around, and he's brought a new set of staff in. Jamie Hoyland, he's brought in, who works predominantly as under-23 scout, along with Damien Matthews, Tony Grant. So we have, as much as we have an under-23 recruitment area, it's all linked into Steve in terms of targets, and he's in every day at the training ground, and I speak to him every day, and it works really well. We link into the first team and link into the recruitment side, and it's he's been doing this now for umpteen years, Steve, and there's nobody better in the business when you're talking about recruitment. So to have him on board with us at Everton, not just for first team, but for our young players as well, is crucial.
Jamie Hoyland, Tony Grant, they're proper football people. We like proper football people at Finch Farm, don't we?
We do. Like Granty, like him as a kid. Played against Jamie several times. He's a bubbly character, Jamie, as well. Always got things to say. Sit in his company, have a laugh as well. So I think he's the only one that eats more than me at dinner time as well when we go up to Finch Farm. So he can certainly eat, can Jamie. But no, I think we've got a great spirit at the minute up at Finch Farm. And around the place, Goodison as a whole, from top to bottom, it's got a smile on its face.
Top six is certainly achievable, isn't it? That's for sure. And that's it for this week. No game, of course, this weekend, but something of an old boys reunion a week on Saturday when David Moyes brings his plethora of former Everton players back to Goodison Park. We'll preview that game in full next week, of course, and we'll have an exclusive catch-up with the Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Tony Bellew. Don't miss that one. By the way, if you've enjoyed the show and want more exclusive Everton stories and videos, head to the website evertonfc.com or keep an eye out across all our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Snapchat. My thanks to Snods and to David Unsworth for joining us, and as always to you for watching. We'll see you again next week for another Everton show.
Catch the lowdown for all your entertainment, culture and lifestyle from around Liverpool.
At 6:30 and 9:30 every night, straight after the news.